Hello, Pottery II students. All right, so this is the second video I'm putting together. And as a reminder, you are making two of these three projects that I'm going to be posting in Classroom. I am going to narrate the slides that I would have presented to you in if we were in class to kind of talk about it and field questions and things like that. And I encourage you to put questions in the comments of the Google Classroom. That way other people can see your comments. And I can answer multiple questions at once. So for most likely, more than one of you have the same question. All right, so this next project is you're designing something that is nesting. And this is involving slab building, but it also can be sculptural. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, in Pottery 2, this latter part of the semester, we're focusing more on slab building, um, uh, creating slabs and building from that, like we did our box as Pottery 1 students. So we're kind of expounding on that. And as usual, especially in a Pottery 2 class like this, I do like to give some independence. And I'm looking for you to solve problems and being creative. So those are really the ideal things that you are doing as an artist beyond what you are making. So, so feel free to explore some things, be creative, have a few failures and successes. So I will be putting in Classroom also maybe some how-to videos as far as what to do with your clay when it's drying out and things like that. Alternative tools, since you don't have the full use of the classroom, you might have to come up with some new tools. So when you're rolling out slabs, you may need to find something other than a rolling pin. You may find something that's cylindrical. I'd be curious even, this might be something part of our learning goal, is what did you come up with to use to roll out your slabs? A broom handle, a PVC pipe, you used your mom's baking rolling pin, your dad's rolling pin, whatever you come up with that you can use to roll out your slab, or you're using the slap and stretch method that we've kind of talked about, slapping it down, pounding it down, and then just smoothing it out with a rib. So we'll have to be intuitive and problem solvers, and I think that will be the upside of COVID-19. Okay, so nesting objects. So you're going to be thinking of some things that fit together in subject and in size, going from larger to smaller. In this case, there's a picture of three boxes, maybe considering the design on the exterior, the texture, and things like that. Or you might want to go more sculptural and come up with something like the Russian nesting dolls. I've seen some very clever options there. All right, so planning. I would kind of do some brainstorming. This might also involve how you're going to complete this project, what you're going to slump it over, and things like that. So um, find examples of nesting and stacking forms, kind of look online and see what you can come up with. And then you're going to build your forms and make a maquette. Now, a maquette just means like a paper pattern. So I would do the problem solving as far as sizing, make sure that they fit in with each other in theme and in sizing. So as you can see with the various sizes of dishes there, they go from small to large. Kind of think about how they're going to fit into each other. Or like the shapes at the bottom of the screen, make sure those shapes fit each other. All right, so planning, plan it out, kind of make some sketches, uh, get a piece of paper and kind of plan out what you're thinking. Sometimes when you just begin to, when I give you this assignment, a lot of times there's a good time to sleep on it, think about it, process it a little bit. Look online to find some interesting examples of nesting or stacking forms that might work. So these can fit inside of each other like nesting dolls, or maybe stack somehow on top of each other. Like there is a kind of a form off to the right there with different shapes that fit into each other. So think about how you would like that. sketch out, brainstorm on a piece of paper some different ideas, sleep on it, and kind of think about it, and come up with something cool. All right, so the building. In these slides, I've got a couple examples of and a link to an article from Pottery Making Illustrated on how to make some stacking forms. I don't have plaster molds for you to drape on, so you will need to come up with something different. I will probably put in Classroom some links to some things that you could use instead. You could put your slabs inside of a bowl. You just need to put either plastic wrap or something in between the bowl and the clay as it will stick. So you need to be able to kind of release it. Plaster has a quality in the sense that it dries out the clay and makes it easy to release from a mold. So in this case, you would want to put some kind of a paper or plastic barrier between the bowl and the clay when you're allowing it to nest, and so that when it gets to the leather hard stage, you can release it from the bowl and kind of work on it. All right, here are some examples that I had come across that were student examples of things that are nesting, different slabs and shapes and things like that. Be creative. Find something that is of interest to you. Maybe the final nesting item is some sort of object that goes in the middle. Here are some more nesting things, examples of things that fit together. Maybe make paper patterns of one object and then make a cut down version and so on. More examples using some textures. Now, when you're creating textures, you don't have the resources of the classroom, but you may have things, found objects around your home that would work really well. Toothpicks, bolts and square, things like that. That might really make your project very unique. If you have some stamps, things that you had from some crafts that you made, it's amazing that just the little things in your kitchen. A lot of potters use kitchen tools to create texture. All right, here's some more nesting examples. Some I just recently found on as a throwdown challenge on Instagram. These were really cute options, so be thinking about that. Here are some student examples from last year. So Julian Randall likes a lot of superhero kind of stuff, so created this Batman slab box and some other items that fit within it. Summer Onken, she combined her nature project with the nesting project. So she made more than 3 layers to kind of incorporate both of them. So she nested kind of a tree branch bowl, and then these other bowls that had the seasons in them, and then there was a final object that had 2 acorns that fit inside of this as well. So it was very clever. Here is a couple of nesting where the kangaroos, this is actually quite small. So if you're more comfortable working small, I would encourage you to go that route. Sometimes small can be more complicated. Sometimes super big can be complicated. So kind of be thinking about something in the mid-range that you can handle. And here is another example. All right, so and then we'll create our reflection logs. Begin with that, where you put in reflection log, kind of put in some notes of what kinds of things that you did to brainstorm ahead of time, maybe a snapshot of your sketches or something that you saw online that inspired you, and so you put that in your reflection log and then kind of put some of that information in the reflection log that is in Classroom. All right, so I'm going to put these 3 projects in Classroom, and I'd love to hear your questions. So either if you have an individual question, you send me an email, or if you have a group question that more than one person probably will ask, put it in the comments of Classroom under the this stream. So I look forward to it, seeing your work. Thank you.